Hey everyone, today I got a viewer request from my subscriber Matthias Garay 470. I'm back to university and I know the semester will be bad. Professors and the subjects are so boring, I'm really ahead of my careers. Do I'm assuming this is so I don't want to quit. So what I want is reduce the stress the best possible and to find a way to make the process at least fun and enjoyable. I don't want to study a lot in the exam stage because it's so stressful, but I also want to learn what can I do. I also have trouble socializing with classmates. That's another source of stress. Okay, so a few things stand out to me. Okay, and the things that stand out to me are number one, um, this. So, um, if this semester is actually bad, like, and the professors are actually bad in reality, and there is such a thing as bad, and your semester and the professors are it. And if there is such a thing as boring, and your subjects are actually that, then there's no point in me talking to you about it because these are actually bad. If I tell you that it can be different, then I will be lying to you, right? If the subjects are actually boring, there's no point in me trying to talk to you because like why deal with what's so for example, death is certain, right? But now, if I told you, no man, there is a way to be eternal and you don't have to die, that would be a lie, right? And that wouldn't really make sense. So I can't if you are completely in this feeling of I know. I know this semester will be bad. Professors and the subjects are so boring. If this is so hard set in stone, you can't see things differently. So, therefore, the first thing that needs to change is your perspective on this semester. Now, am I asking you to be like, yo, don't worry about it, everything will be good? No, like, I'm not asking you to change your perspective like this right now, right? We can work in steps. And the first step is to consider that bad and boring are very fluid. So, for example, video games are supposed to be fun, right? But there's a lot of people, if they're in their 20s, they don't find video games all that fun. So, video games are boring to them. I am a Korean person, and I kind of came to America in the transitionary period, so I'm not that big into American football. So American football is like kind of boring to me, but it isn't to other people, right? Yep. So if you can see that the idea of bad professors and subjects are so boring, if you can see that that's a perspective instead of this like concrete thing, that will kind of loosen the structure a little bit. Okay. So you're really ahead of your career, so you don't want to quit. So you want to reduce the stress the best possible way and make the process at least fun and enjoyable. Yep. So how do you do that? You just don't have any expectations about good grades. So if you're not trying to get A plus, and if you're just in school for the sake of learning what will come into your mind, turns out it's a pretty fun experience. There's like a lot of people in the freshman classes or like sophomore classes. There are people who are in major for it, right? So for them, like it's super hardcore because they need to get good grades in order to like advance to the next level. But other majors and other people take the class pass fail and they're just having the time of their life about it, right? I remember specifically. So I went to Cornell University. Cornell University is really well known for their hospitality program, and so the hotel management, right? And so one of the really popular classes at the hotel school is a wine class. So people think it's easy breezy, and because I get to taste so many wines. But the thing is, that class is actually really hard to pass because it's actually a sommelier class, right? So you need to really be knowledgeable about the theory of wine and the history of everything, the different regions, and you have to develop the taste sensibility to like tell it. So to the people who are taking a pass fail, it's the time of their life for their senior year. But to the hospitality majors, that class is so stressful. So it really depends on your perspective. Like, how can you make it fun and enjoyable? Just take it for fun. Um, don't expect to do good and just pass the class. And when that's your goal, then you don't have to worry about it. Like, if everything can be, if you put in the minimal amount of effort and you just find things like if you find the pursuit of knowledge kind of fun and enjoyable, then you can be like, hey, you know what? I don't need to know everything, but I am getting something out of this class. I am understanding things. And so that makes the process fun and enjoyable, or at least opens the doors so that it makes fun and enjoyable, at least accessible to you. Yeah, you don't want to study a lot in the exams. Yeah, so don't focus your learning on evaluation, right? So like evaluation and exams are designed to put you in a limited situation so that it can assess how well you retrieve the knowledge in your head, right? So just don't do that part. Just understand that, oh, this concept is really fun, and then you can take a note of like basically make an open book for yourself. And you're like, yeah, this concept is fun. I'm gonna make a note of where I read this and why it was fun to me. And then when you just make that note, you don't need to memorize it. You don't need to recall it in memory. But later on, when you want to reference it for your own purposes, then you totally can. And yeah, so just don't optimize. There's different ways of learning, right? So don't prioritize retrieval. Prioritize your learning in breadth. Well, prioritize your learning in breadth and the expansiveness of the knowledge acquisition rather than like yeah, like when you take the entrance exams for universities like this, then you people have a tendency to kind of hyper optimize on the retrieval stage, right? So um when I visited Korea in my youth, I remember like I was taking physics in high school, and for me physics was all about understanding, like all about breaking the problem down and being like, oh yeah, so this requires this formula, and then like blah 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 blah. I substitute this. So it was all about like the understanding for me. But what really shocked me was that people in Korea were like learning physics as a memory test. And by the end of the year, nobody really remembered what like the physics, like the curve of the like projectile things and thermodynamics, because it was all just memorized like history, right? So there's different ways of learning. So if you want to make it enjoyable, number one, don't focus on getting a good grade. Number two, don't focus on like information retrieval. Just focus on enjoying the knowledge acquisition. And you have trouble socializing with classmates, so that's another source of stress. Well, I give this advice often these days, but I think socialization really comes down to like regardless of what other people do, you just decide to be a type of person. So, um, many people want to rely on other people's feedback in order to form relationships, right? Like if I want to be your friend. Therefore, you need to act like a friend to me in order to make that happen. But why don't you do that, you asshole? And then so now you get bitter, right? So I think true friendship and true socialization is like you're sociable regardless of what other people do. And so if you take your life into your own hands and stop relying on other people to provide you that kind of social feedback, then I think it can be good for having a plan on how to be more social. So I hope that helps, Mateus. And as always, let me know if you have any further questions.